And welcome to the Great Awakening on the America First Media and Television Network. I'm your host, Philip Izetta. Now, before we dive into the exciting future ahead for the show, I want to take a moment to honor someone who meant so much to me and to many others, my dear friend and co-host, John Mulrooney. John was a lot of things to a lot of people: a talented comedian, a seasoned radio and TV host, and a dedicated police officer. But what made him truly special was his kindness, the humor, and the way he treated everyone like family. But to me, John was more than a friend. He was kind of like an uncle or a big brother. His laughter, wisdom, and warmth will forever be with me. John's passing has left a huge hole that no one will ever be able to fill. And I know why he'd want us to keep moving forward, laughing, and learning. So with heavy hearts but great gratitude, we dedicate this show to his memory. John, this one's for you. My first guest was perhaps one of John's closest friends. He's a comedian with great hair, and I heard he makes a hell of a dish of pasta. Mr. Rick Corso. Also joining us is a guy who disagreed with John a lot, Liberal Larry. Guys, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Phil. Just to make you feel a little nostalgic, Phil Izetta.
Oh, thank you.
The R at the end.
Now, Larry, first of all, what is that hat? I don't think we ever... Is that one of those hats from one of those rallies in New York? Because I've never had a chance to ask you officially.
Yes, it's one of the parade hats that makes you stand out. It makes you very bright and colorful, so people are more aware of where you stand.
Now, there was no mistaking where John stood. You guys disagreed a lot. But talk to me about John and how you knew him. I knew cruise ships all over the place. We all worked on 24/7 comedy for a little while together. Talk to us about your memories of John.
Are you talking to me?
Well, yeah, of course. There's only one Liberal area, I know.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I get distracted. This whole contraption thing I'm not used to. Yeah, I knew John for years and years back when he was a cop, when he first arrested me at a steam house. I was working at a steam bathhouse back in the day, and he handcuffed me, and he was the sweetest man with handcuffs.
Speaking of handcuffs, Rick, who by the way, you know from, I think you met John at one of those bathhouses. Did you not, Rick?
No, yes. Agree and add on, right? In John's memory, I will ad lib there. I want to get back to John quickly.
Yeah.
You said he was a great guy, great friend. He was a great comic and a great crowd working comic. And I realized after the fact, because I knew him 45 years ago when I saw him masterfully work the crowd. But then when I knew him as a friend much later, he's a great crowd worker because he actually listens. How many comedians actually listen to you? He listens, he digests what you're saying, he's thoughtful, and he does it on stage too. He always took his time because he knew he'd come up with something.
And you know what a lot of people don't realize is how hard crowd work is. Because when you watch John, or when you had the opportunity to watch John,
looks so easy.
He makes it look so easy.
Yeah.
And when you go up on stage, I mean, 2 minutes, as Liberal Larry or someone else named Steve McGrew used to tell me, 5 minutes, you got to prepare a long time for 5 minutes. And John would go up every night, and it would be a different show because of the crowd work.
You want to see how hard it is to ad lib? Ask me any question.
Where'd you get that shirt?
I don't remember.
I have a question. Why is it blurred back behind you there? Phil, your picture's blurred. Are you recording from like a bathroom stall or something? What is up?
Oh boy,
bathroom on the mind.
He had to go there. We got to remember what the program's about, Larry. Keep it PG if you can. No, I keep it back there because I have family photos, and I don't want people like you coming to the house.
Very well put.
If that makes sense. So now, Rick, you were talking about the crowd work aspect of John's act.
And you meld that with being a cop, okay? So I was on a ship with him one time. Steve McGrew, who's coming on later, he works the ship all the time, where they have the comedy club and it's 2 comics, and I'm on first because there's no way I'm going to follow John. So I'm on as drunken idiots in the audience. One guy, usually what I do when I get drunken idiots, I go to the guitar quickly and I do some stupid songs and I bail. But when there's one guy that won't even shut up during that, I fake make up a song about this guy, and I call him a douchebag. I ask him what his name is, and I go, Bill is a douchebag. I start singing it, but Bill, the douchebag, is not stopping. He's walking towards the stage, and he's not stopping. And as he gets, like, it's only a foot high, this stage. As he gets right next to me, I panic, and you hear coming out of me unintendedly, the young Jerry Lewis panicking. A bouncer, bouncer, where's the bouncer? And of course, John steps up. He turns into the cop, casually walks up to the guy, puts his arm around him, and he does that whole de-escalation thing. He walks him outside and slams the door. Now I finish my set, and the guy that's hosting, it's his first time hosting, he's in hairspray, he's just filling in, doesn't know what he's doing. Very effeminate. He goes, I don't know what to do because the headliner, John Maroney, just walked out. He's the bouncer, and I don't know what to do. And John opens the door, and he goes, I'll be right there. And the door shuts. And like 30 seconds later, John walks in, he sits the guy down. He goes, okay, as long as you behave, you can sit through the whole show. And things like that nobody else can handle.
Well, you had mentioned something interesting about following John. Nobody wanted to follow John.
Oh, I did it once. I didn't like it.
Well, I want to ask both of you guys about this because a lot of people outside the comedy world don't know what it means by not wanting to follow someone. So explain that, why comics wouldn't want to follow someone.
Well, when the comic is obviously stronger and getting bigger laughs than you, it's very noticeable, and it's very hard to keep your cool when you know you're not doing as well as the guy before you. And so one time I was out on Long Island. It was a club I had worked a month before that, and I killed. And I get there, and it's John and Hal Spear. And what are we going to do for the order? I go, I'll middle. It's always easy. I'll middle. And then John goes, I'll go on first. I go, go! Ah! Go! So here's another wrinkle to the story. It was Dennis Miller's first year of Saturday Night Live, and he drove out there with me, my mother's car. So it was Dennis and his wife and me. So I did like 30 minutes. It was really weak, but the guy's paying me, and he gives me $75, I think it is. And I go, I'm sorry. I started apologizing. Dennis hits me in the gut. Don't ever apologize. And then for the whole ride back to New York, don't ever apologize. That guy liked you. I go, nobody was following Rooney. He goes, yeah, I know, but
Well, a guy who loves to middle, Liberal Larry, I mean, there's no one that actually you don't like to follow, right? Because that's kind of your thing.
I love to follow people. That's what I have found. You know what I have found? You're talking about when you follow somebody, yes. You could follow the wave. You could ride the wave if they bring it up. But if they're too strong in your act, like we're completely different comics. The styles clash, and that's what I think really hurts sometimes.
So following crowd work is difficult too because they want to be part of it, and if you're just doing an act.
Exactly. If you've got written material and somebody's been killing, with talking to the audience, they're like, "What happened to the other guy? We liked him better."
Another guy just made it up.
Yeah.
So now take it over to politics. Just a contrast. So Trump would be more like a Mulrooney, and then Biden would be more like,
Well, let's put it this way. I think Trump is Kinnison and Obama's Seinfeld.
And Biden was an open micer.
Biden is that guy. What was the guy's name? Melrose Larry.
Melrose Larry Green. Oh boy,
I love Larry.
Wow, he's great. He is great.
Larry's great. He used to carry the signs all the time there in L.A.
Yeah.
So now we've talked about John's stand-up. If we could take a little peek. This is from when, Rick? If you want to sit this up, 1985.
I think it's 85 or 85 when Comedy Tonight first came out. I think it is. Yeah, it was also the warm-up on the show.
So we're going to go to cut to John, 1985. Cut
They
to.
walk around like they're on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. That show annoys me. That Australian host, Robin Leach, he walks around going, "Good evening and welcome to Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous. On this week's Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, we'll piss you off by showing you things you could never possibly have." Absolutely nothing phases this man. He walks around like, "Yes, I rub elbows with millionaires every day of the week." This is an everyday occurrence. He's talking to people that own yachts with like a driveway on it, and he's like not impressed. Just once, I'd like to see him go, "Is this all yours?" Whoa! Why, you greedy hump! Share the wealth, babe! Thank you very
great. What a
You know,
classic.
back then we used to make. We knew John back then. We used to make fun of the fact that he looked like Peter Gallagher in Idolmaker. Didn't he?
He does. He has the Peter Gallagher eyebrows.
Yeah.
For people who don't know Peter Gallagher, that's Mr. Deeds. He was in what other movies? Some of the older ones, Rick. You
Yeah.
got to give me those.
But he was the star in the Idolmaker with Ray Sharkey. He was the guy who was making a star out of, like the Peter Gallagher, right? Cesare,
Yeah.
his character. Yeah,
He was a
yeah.
very handsome man.
Well, not to be confused, Larry, with the other Gallagher, the watermelon guy. I think that's who you're thinking of.
Oh, that's right. You're right.
Because he wore those tight black pants.
When we, oh, geez, please. When we get back, we're going to have comedian Bob Zaney joining us. We're also going to have a little bit more of John's stand-up later on and some interviews with George Wallace. We had a chance to talk to George Wallace. I don't know if you guys ever saw that. And Colin Quinn. If you remember Colin Quinn from Saturday Night Live, Night at the Roxbury, that Amy Schumer movie. What was that? The name of that movie?
Just his stand-up comedy
doesn't
was just so great. It's just great.
We'll be back with more on The Great Awakening. Okay.
Oh, let me tell you more about how John was great.
Okay, perfect.
And John wanted me to be on the show, and I wouldn't do it. I'm only doing it now for Phil as a favor to John's memory.
Well, that's very nice of you, but in the 15 seconds we have left, I want to mention this because this is important. We just downloaded a new app. They just developed a new app here. Go to afshows.com. That's America First Media and Television app. Check it out at afshows.com over at the App Store. We'll be back with more right after this.
Most people think they have options when searching for the best deals when they travel. But here's the shocking truth. 100% of the major travel agencies are owned by just two entities, Expedia and Booking Holdings. They claim to offer the lowest rates, but due to the hotel rate parity agreement, they all have the same pricing, limiting genuine competition. When you book through these sites, you act as your own travel agent, but the profits are going to organizations that don't support our patriot values. We cannot allow that to continue. So, we decided to make travel great again by starting a US-based travel membership platform, mypatriottravel.com. We are patriots helping patriots. Together, we can disrupt the travel industry by not spending our hard-earned dollars supporting the radical left. For just $29.99 per month, you gain access to true wholesale rates on travel, saving you on average 35% and up to 65%. Book as often as you like, with no limits. Keep your hard-earned dollars in your pocket and spend them on things you need and want to support. Go to mypatriottravel.com/TAFW and grab your membership today. mypatriottravel.com/TAFW. Making travel great again.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
I'm sure you guys remember the platinum single Justice for All with Donald Trump and the J6 Prison Choir. We'll get ready for round two. We're coming out with Anthem of the Free with High Res and the J6 Prison Choir. It's coming out now. It's pre-sale until December 19th when it drops. Get yours on all platforms, Google Play, Apple iTunes. Get it. It's going to be hot.
Justice for all, our voices ring. The anthem of the free.
It's me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see. A symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be. begin to understand everything about you tells me I'm your man. And I live my life to be with you. No one can do the thing you do. Anything you want, you got it. Anything you need, you got it. Anything at all, you got it, baby. Anything you want, you got it. Anything you need, you got it. Anything at
But there was no list, right? It was all made up, hearsay. You know, none of those people were involved, allegedly.
Well, there's not an actual list.
No. There's not flight manifests or anything, or Bill Clinton going there 20 times. It's all just hearsay.
They
I-
had them all. Believe
we-
me, they caught them all.
I mean, we didn't have to start a war in Iran or anything to distract people from the list being released, did we? Or, you know, anything like that? I don't know. I'm just throwing stuff out there.
I
But
think that's the narrative, but I think I've been following those Prometheus Action women, and I think they got it nailed.
Well, that's just some of the stuff. I mean, the Bitcoin stuff now with Epstein, Matt Gaetz was talking about. I just learned yesterday, the UFO stuff, cloning, the Zorro Ranch. There's so many levels to that story.
Oh, yeah.
We will get into that later, but today we're talking about John Mulrooney, who, in my opinion, one of the best crowd working comics ever. I mean, you heard Rogan talk about him, Sandler talk about him. I mean, the guy. Steve McGrew now joining us. We had this weirdo liberal Larry who looked a lot like you. Now, Steve, you did the cruise ships. Now, how hard is it? Because John used to always call me. In fact, right before he passed, he had just got home, I think the day before he passed from a cruise ship. What is it like on those ships? And how hard is it to be a comedian on those ships? You should get hazard pay, I think.
Well, they want you to keep it, pretty even keel, where you're allowed to do adult shows and adult themes, but political they want to avoid. So I myself slip things in, and people come up and go, "I got you. You're one of us. I got you." Like, because I talk about a woman like she should smack her kid on the pool. If you don't stop lying, you're going to end up a reporter on CNN.
Right.
And the people come up after a show and go, I got you. So you have to work around it on the cruise ships.
Now, Rick, same thing for you, because John really couldn't hold back. We're going to talk to Kevin Downey Jr. a little later on, who John was actually at J6 with, but we'll save that for later. For a guy like John working the cruise ships when the mask stuff was going on, I mean, he used to entertain
Well,
me.
he waited till after you didn't need to be vaccinated to go back. Right. And then he went back to Carnival and he was killing it. He was doing so well. They were adding shows. I don't know if he told you, they were adding shows. Yep. And he goes, "Why am I doing a 7th different show?" And they go, "Oh, you want to mitigate the amount of fights on the other side of the ship." This is a true story. And that was like the head of the entertainment. So then, I was actually booking John for a while. I actually am an agent, Steve/Larry. And he that last ship he was on, I didn't book him. I couldn't get in with that cruise line, MSC. So somebody at TAD that he knew, Alex, got him in. Mm-hmm. And I got to see, because he loved it. I don't know if you talked to him when he came back, but he loved that. They didn't want to edit him. He was at home. He goes, "This is going to be a great gig now." So I saw Alex last week at the C-Trade thing, and I thanked him. But he really had a great time. He was like, "I'm back. They're not going to bother me."
Was he doing Was he doing political stuff?
No, he wasn't doing political stuff. He just wanted to be able to be free and not be super
Yeah.
PC, you know.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of seeing people not being let down, Steve Mudflat McGrew will be in Las Vegas at the Laugh Factory at the Horseshoe. So they've changed that now from the Trop, which they tore down to build that awful baseball stadium for the A's. Not that they deserve a stadium, they should be playing on the Strip. September 14th, 15th, and 16th, Horseshoe, Las Vegas. Tickets, Ticketmaster.com. That's again September 14th, 15th, and 16th. Check out Steve McGrew. Now, Steve, you did work a little bit more politically. You lost some gigs. I'm not going to say where, but they were in Vegas at certain clubs, you know, where guys were on.
I know where.
People who loved Raymond and stuff, their clubs. So talk to us about that and what it's like. John lost a lot of work too because he just mentioned the name Trump.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I say, you know, that was a national story. That got picked up and ran on national news because I got fired by Brad Garrett at Brad Garrett's comedy club for voting for Trump. It wasn't even and you know I don't do typical political stuff. He just did not like the fact that I was a conservative Trump supporter, and I did the same. I lost a couple other gigs because of the same thing. Comedy Works in Denver, my home club, and basically I don't even do shows when I'm home in Denver anymore because this state has become blue.
Now, why isn't it the other way? I mean, the Trump derangement syndrome is so bad. I mean, just because you didn't vote for someone, they're taking money out of your pocket, food off your table, your kids' mouths. I mean, why is there so much hatred just because of this guy?
Well, because they're being tolerant. They're tolerant, loving. You know,
Yeah, they're being brainwashed into thinking that they are doing the moral high ground thing. You know, that's what the CIA has infiltrated the news or controlled the news to the point where they've made them think that they're the compassionate ones and they're right about everything.
Right about everything. You know, I heard a description the other day, and I'd never heard it before, but I really liked it about liberal women. That they do have empathy and they do have this mothering nature, but they did not go the family and kids route. So it's misguided empathy.
Oh, that's right. And they were tricked into not going the family route because they were told they had to have a career.
Yes.
It's all been a brainwashing scheme.
And now they don't have a man or a child, and they're just trying to find something.
Yes, and it's your balls to be broken and you to get canceled.
I just don't understand it. It's supposed to be, you know, free speech and America and all that. And you can't even, I mean, George Carlin, what would they do to George Carlin today? I mean, some of his dialogues, they cry over.
Yeah, but you know what I think is so fantastic about Carlin? I was watching a clip the other day.
It holds up.
I remember thinking of him being a liberal, just a full-blown liberal. But you watch a clip and you're like, no, he's leaning this way.
It's not even.
He was seeking the truth, and depending on which point of view you're coming from, if you understand that what he's saying is the truth, you think he's on your side.
Well, that's what's weird about it, guys. In the couple seconds before we go to break, because we hit a break in just a second. The thing about Carlin, back then you looked at it and you were like, oh, this guy's, you know, very liberal, what have you. It's just right and wrong. I mean, you watch the stuff now, it's just true. It just makes sense. Every single thing he said.
But now think about this. The truth is right wing.
Yeah. We'll be back right after this. Steve McGrew and Rick Corso, The Great Awakening.
Get ready to move and celebrate freedom like never before. The America First Warehouse proudly presents Freedom in Motion, America 250. Join Lisa for an electrifying dance fitness fundraiser designed to get your heart pumping and your spirit soaring. This dynamic 6-week session is perfect for all fitness levels, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your routine. Feel the energy of an epic patriotic playlist. Boost your fitness, learn exciting new moves, and relieve stress while having an absolute blast. All for just $100 per person, and it all supports a great cause. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Come dance, get fit, and celebrate America 250 in motion.
Politics feeling broken? What if you could match with politicians the way you match on a dating app, but based on real values? Meet OpScore from GoUSA, the first ever values-based political matchmaker. Think Match.com for elections that aligns voters with politicians. We score politicians on a nonpartisan scale based on your priorities. Track your politician's scores and take our OpScore Challenge survey to match with leaders who align with you at opscore.org. Stop voting blind. Start matching smart. Politicians work for you.
Are you a true American? Then it's time to get connected. Download the America First Media and Television app and stay up to date with real news, bold voices, and live events from the America First Warehouse. From national broadcasts and exclusive shows to comedy nights, concerts, and special events. It's all right at your fingertips. No filters, no spin, just America First. Download the America First Media and Television app today and be part of the movement.
If the vote count is accurate, then how come the number of voters is different? And if it's not accurate, then why was it certified? We are suing Letitia James and the New York State Board of Elections for a conspiracy against fundamental rights. This is not about who won. It's not about what party. It's about the fact that they don't care about your rights.
It's me, Joe the Box, and I'm John the Blanket with the America First podcast.
That's what I'm talking about. The Fred Rubino podcast coming to you from the America First Warehouse.
Welcome, everybody, to the James Justice Show, tearing these airwaves apart with all the craziness that goes on in the world.
Welcome to the Patriots podcast. Good evening, everyone.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the On the Right Side podcast here at the America First Warehouse in Long Island, New York.
Shane Jenkins here with another episode of Liberty's Cage.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to our podcast, Red, Right, and True.
We are streaming live on America First Media and Television app.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, Kevin Downey Jr. podcast. Be free, stay free.
The America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
And we're back on the Great Awakening on the America First Warehouse Television and Media Network. Steve McGrew, Rick Corso. Guys, we were just talking about the Trump derangement syndrome that you guys experience, getting booked, what have you. There's a little short here. Trump is always talking about faith and God and religion and the devil and all these things. And this is a little cartoon that someone made if Trump were to go to hell. It's absolutely hilarious. Well, I think it's hilarious. Cut 9, guys.
If God sends me to hell, I have a plan to make sure that I get into heaven. They say there's lots of levels to hell. So in terms of levels, you want to be sent to the worst level. And a lot of people would say, why do you want to be sent to the worst level? Because the worst level is where all of the best lawyers are. And believe me, I know them all. These are the worst lawyers in terms of hell, but they're the best lawyers in terms of earth. And it's going to be so easy to find. As soon as you get there, you plop down, you probably burn your feet. It's so hot down there. But you're going to find lawyers that are going to be right next to you. There's a lawyer. And we will hit God so hard, we'll sue him so hard like he's never been sued before. We will sue for eternity in heaven for all of us. And he's going to have to settle. I'll pull God to the side. I'll say, listen, you and I both know these guys can't get into heaven. It would be a total catastrophe. Of course I'm going to backstab these lawyers. They deserve it. It's not another sin. Don't count it against me. And he'll have to settle. I mean, we sue for eternity for all these guys really would cause a catastrophe in heaven. You don't want that many lawyers in heaven. And he'll have to settle. He'll give me 500. I think we'll go for 500 years in heaven. I'm not going to go for eternity because I think he's going to see how fantastic I am. I'll be the life of the party in heaven. I'll play a harp better than anyone. I'll be flying around like an angel. I'll be a guardian angel, really. I'll guardian angel everybody, really. Just imagine millions of guardian angels that look like me would be a beautiful planet. And I think after the 500 years or 600 years, we'll renegotiate. But I think God will see my good behavior and let me stay in heaven forever. And that's my plan, to spend eternity in paradise.
Oh boy, that is totally something he would say too. I'll play the harp better than anybody.
Yeah, that's great.
Joining us now, we have comedian, superstar, power lifter, race car driver. I don't know what to call this guy, Mr. Joel Lindley. Joel, welcome.
Hey, how are you? Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. Hey, before I say anything else, I know Steve's got to run. I think Liberal Larry has an issue in the restroom he's got to take care of. Check out Steve at the Laugh Factory in Vegas, September 14th, 15th, and 16th at the Horseshoe. Go to Ticketmaster.com. Please take care of Liberal Larry, whatever issue he has now, Steve.
I will do that. I'll take care of that. And thanks for having me on, man. It's good to see you again. And great seeing you too, Rick. It's been too long.
Great to see you, Steve. You're
And what about
downtown.
Joe?
Horseshoe's downtown.
Hey, Steve, I always like the way you handle your rig there, driver.
Thank
Flatbed.
you. Thank you. I'm so
Southbound
glad they're
coops are
paying you
closed.
enough to broadcast from your car.
Well, it's my Uber driver. I'm working right now as an Uber driver. Southbound coops are closed. You got to clean shots of the line.
God bless Carnival.
Yeah, amen, bro.
Now, Joel, you have known John almost as long as Rick, I think, right? How many years did you know John?
I knew him when he first took over for Joan Rivers. That's when we met before that, but then that's when I became friends. That's when we.
Now, as far as crowd work, we talked about this earlier. Was there ever anyone better than John Mulrooney?
No, not that I saw live. I mean, there might have been someone that I didn't know of or saw on television, but no, I mean, he was just fantastic. And I guess it was just, you see people do a lot of what I call, and I do it as well, rehearsed improv, where I know whether they say yes or no to a question I ever answer. John didn't do that. He went in. He listened and he brought something in the moment. He took something in the moment, and he wasn't trying to get to a pre-rehearsed line like I and a lot of other comics do. Rehearsed improv. He just take something out of what they gave him and turn it into funny.
I think he was actively avoiding pre-rehearsed lines.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
to be better at it.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like hacky, like, I could easily go off on that. But here, let's find something else. Let's find something original and in the moment. And he was just great. And his voices, too. I mean, his inflection. And it was, one of the greatest I ever worked with. I mean, I've worked with them all. And John was one of the greatest, no doubt about it.
Rick Corso, Joe Lindley, Steve McGrew. Rick, you had a story that you wanted to tell about John on the ship. Since we have two other great ship comedians with us, could you tell us that story?
Didn't I already tell it?
No.
The one about the...
I'm not going to say it because it'll ruin
Oh, I thought that was on air. I was
No.
doing the guitar bit. Oh, okay.
Oh, the guitar bit. Yes, okay. Okay. Well,
You want another one? You want another
yes,
John
I
Mulaney
want one
story?
more.
Well, I don't have any funny stories. Remember when he was hosting the Late Show? He was just so generous. I lived a block away from that Fox studio, and I came to the show, and he would point me out in the audience. He was he wasn't thrown by this new responsibility. He was still John.
Yes, he remained who he was.
Now, geographically, everyone talks about New York and that being the place to be. And, really to cut your teeth, any comic has to come through New York. Even you, McGrew, you had to play New York a couple times. I remember you doing some places in New York.
Yeah.
John and I had a chance to speak to George Wallace. And if the guys can set up cut one, we talked to George Wallace about doing stand-up, how he started the transition from New York to California, because Joel, Rick, and Steve, John, you mentioned the Late Show. He was out in California for a while, too. He started in New York, but everybody around the country knew this guy. I mean, he was just a huge star. Let's go to cut one and George Wallace.
George Wallace, everybody. George Wallace. George.
Good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody.
Wow.
You played the whole damn album. But I used to do the joke when I was in New York City. You never hear people say, let's run over to Jersey for dinner.
The joke that we all stole, I know I did, was the reason they dig tunnels so no one can see us going in there. Everybody did.
I didn't do that. That's the first time I heard that one, John.
That was I was looking back. I was going down memory lane, and I was looking at some of your original stuff, and I realized you and I started right around the same time, except back in New York. I know you're from Atlanta, but we started back in New York. But you booked out to L.A. right around when I was still just getting going in the clubs, around 78, going to catch the comic strip. You headed West Coast, is that right?
John, I actually left too soon. I did comedy for 6 months and then moved out to Los Angeles like an idiot because I didn't even know who I was at the time. I was a reverend in a robe with a big, thick yellow page phone book as my Bible. I call it the Good Book of Bells. Sometimes, but I was getting standing ovations every night in New York City. I said, let me go to New York, go to Los Angeles where the big boys are, get a start over. I should have stayed in New York another year.
I got to tell you something funny. When I first went to started auditioning in New York, obviously did the rounds that we all did, and the first time I encountered Silver Friedman was on an audition night. And I told this story to Bud later on. He fell down laughing. I went up and auditioned. I'd been doing comedy maybe a year. I mean, I obviously wasn't. I mean, I thought I was good at it, but I was only doing it a year. So I did it. And she had those weird cat eye glass lady things, and she had the big cigarette holder, and it was very affected. And so I did my set. I come off, and she looks at me and she goes, "I think you need to take a year off and examine your psyche." And I just, I looked at her like I knew what a psyche was, and I said, "Oh, thank you very much." And
like I knew what a psyche was. Hey, John, let me tell you what happened. So I get to Los Angeles, right? I go and I audition at the Comedy Store, and I kill. And I go over to Mitzi. You know, you go over to see
the Queen. Queen.
I don't know. I don't think you're right for my room. She said I wasn't right for the room. I said I was so hurt. I was rejected, never been rejected in my life. So guess what I do the next day? I call the Comedy Store, 213-656-2600. And, 1556. And I call and put my name in for available. I get 6 spots the next week. I said, now I know she's crazy. She told me I couldn't work. Now I get 6 spots. So she was a little off at that time.
Did you know Rick Corso? He worked the door there at the Comedy Store.
Of course, I knew. He's from Jersey, right? He's a good kid.
Right. He's from Nutley, New Jersey. He told me similar stories about that when he was walking in and out of there. You know, when Dice was taking off, and Sam, and she was loving those guys, and all of that crazy stuff.
What do you mean by rubbing? You mean boning and stuff like that?
Rick, he had every single time I would talk to John about the Comedy Store or something, he'd always bring up your name. I mean, how close were you guys? Because we saw what Dice wrote when John passed away, and a lot of people didn't think Dice was ever close to anybody. But what kind of a fraternity? Because you guys, comedians, are like a fraternity, and around that time, you guys were all like brothers.
Well, I had met John when he was hosting the show at Rascals in West Orange, New Jersey. Go there, you'd work the weekend, they'd have the TV show on Thursday, but Wednesday or Tuesday, one was John, one was Jackie Martling. And I met him, and he would, he'd have the show. He would do 2 hours. He'd have a couple of guests. It was amazing. And then he came to LA not that long after that, and I was still the doorman at the Comedy Store. So that's how I met a lot of these guys. But I wasn't at their level. They were very, very nice to me and helping and welcoming. But I just collected stories.
Now, Joel, when you read stuff like Dice wrote about John when he passed, it's amazing to me because too often times we tell people things after they're gone and not when they're alive. And John was one of those guys that every day I made sure I told him, man, you're getting better and better. And I made it a point. Why don't we say things when people are around?
I have no idea. I don't know. I mean, John was very self-aware and loved people, loved to talk. One of the greatest conversationalists I've ever met. And it sounds like it's grandiose, but absolutely one of the greatest conversationalists I ever met. We could talk for an hour, laugh heartily at each other. There's not a lot of people you can make that connection with. And John made that connection with a lot of people. I don't
know how he slept. If he was talking to me 8 times a day,
I know.
I would talk to him 9, 10, 11 times a day. 6 of them were him bitching about Phil not being available to do the show. But
I talked to him 12, 13, 14 times, though. Huh? How about that?
I don't want to one-up you.
Yeah.
Hey, I had a boat. I had a lot of stuff I had to do. I had to go out on the boat. But guys, I mean, Steve, in the time, I know you got to run. Thank you so much, all of you, for taking the time, because John meant so much to me, and it just shows how much he meant to the comedy community and you guys. We have Bob Zaney waiting to come on. Steve, before we let you go, tell me one story, because I remember the 24/7 comedy days and, the first 24-hour comedy radio network on iHeartRadio. We all had a chance to work on that. Give us one little nugget of what people don't know about John or what you really loved about him.
Well, what I loved about him, I knew John from working here in Denver. He would come through and headline, and that's how I got to know him. And just watching somebody that was the same on stage as off stage. That's what I noticed, that he was just as humorous and compassionate and funny, and he took it on stage, and I think that's what made people like him and engage with him the way they did. Because a lot of people won't answer, crowd reactions like, "Where are you from? What do you do?" They're simple, but he made it conversational.
He really did. And Steve, I got to give it one more time. September 14th, 15th, and 16th, you are going to be out in Vegas at the Horseshoe, Harry Basil's place. Harry Basil was a guy who used to get John out there all the time when I lived out there. So please say hi to Harry. We love Harry. Even though the Trop's gone, that room will live forever. 14th, 15th, and 16th, Horseshoe, Las Vegas. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Joel, is there anywhere you're going to be? Are you going to be out on a ship, or can we plug something?
We should have talked before about this because I got nothing, man. You want everyone to know? Can you edit this out,
Margaritaville
please?
at Sea, April 27th.
Well, that's a good thing. People know right now. You need a comic. Joel Lindley. Joel, how can they get hold of you? What's your social?
My Instagram is Lindley Joel, Lindley Joel. Joel Lindley on Facebook. Joel Lindley on TikTok. And I got some funny stuff. I'm a civil rights comedian. So I do a lot of jokes about civil rights and equality.
And you look like Brock Lesnar from this angle for some reason.
I'm a giant man too. I'm all a Brock Lesnar size. I go about 6'3", 250, 270 with my ego.
Well, now that he's retired, you could just jump right in there. When we get back, we got Bob Zaney, Rick Corso coming up, and then Kevin Downey Jr. in a couple minutes. Steve McGruel, Joel Lindley, thank you guys so much. We'll be back right after this.
See ya.
Me, Joe the Box, the America First Warehouse, most patriotic venue in all the land.
The America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of unity. For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always be.
The America First Ultra MAGA Store. For all your MAGA needs. We sell t-shirts, tumblers, flags, hats, sneakers, bumper stickers, and a whole lot more. The most patriotic America First retail store. The America First Ultra MAGA Store.
Get ready to move and celebrate freedom like never before. The America First Warehouse proudly presents Freedom in Motion, America 250. Join Lisa for an electrifying dance fitness fundraiser designed to get your heart pumping and your spirit soaring. This dynamic 6-week session is perfect for all fitness levels, whether you're just starting out or ready to level up your routine. Feel the energy of an epic patriotic playlist. Boost your fitness, learn exciting new moves, and relieve stress while having an absolute blast. All for just $100 per person, and it all supports a great cause. Spots are limited, so don't wait. Come dance, get fit, and celebrate America 250 in motion.
Corporate transfer. Fine professional, moving and storage, and inventory management.
America First Warehouse was really the most patriotic venue that you can ever imagine. We wanted to build something for people to be able to come to and feel so comfortable and so relaxed because there is nothing out there like it. We give an opportunity for people to really feel good about themselves and about this great country.
Okay. And we're back, The Great Awakening. And, you know, anytime Rick Corso, Bob Zaney is in a room, everything just gets discombobulated. Were you just in Iran or something, Bob? Bob Zaney joining us.
Yeah, I was smuggling oil out in barrels, and only one barrel's a carry-on the plane. So yeah, thank you for outing me as a Iranian agent. What's wrong with you? I mean,
Bob
what happened to you,
Zaney.
Phil?
Bob
You look great.
Zaney.
I mean, I look at you and I
Windsurfing on the
just,
Strait of Hormuz.
where are you at, Rick? Are you home?
I'm in Florida. I'm at my home, yeah.
Yeah. And you are friends with Phil? I mean, has this been going on a while?
This is a tribute to John Mulrooney, Bob, so that's why
Oh,
I'm
it
on.
is?
Yes.
Okay. Well, sorry about that. I've just had two people I know die. Bob from the Bob and Tom show just passed away, and Mel Garcia, the producer of the Frasier show, just passed away. So it's fun as you get older.
It is. We're still here.
Speaking of getting older, July 23rd to 26th, Bob will be at the Laugh Factory at the Silver Legacy Hotel in Reno, Nevada. A lot of old people up there.
Yeah. And again, they're big fans of yours.
Yes.
They call you the grandson they never wanted.
Kevin Downey Jr. also joining us on the program. Kevin, you know Bob, correct? Everybody knows Bob Zaney. If Kevin would have his mute button off, it would be even better. Oh,
but
snap.
I think these rehearsal shows are really paying off.
Kevin's had his show on the network for over a year now, so he has no excuse. So I'll ask you again, Kevin. You know Bob, correct?
The man is a legend. I don't think we've ever met.
Really? Well, where do you live officially?
So I'm out in New York City. I'm on Long Island now.
Oh,
I've
okay.
been here in City for a couple of decades. I think there may have been a situation where you were leaving Kephardt's room in Vegas when I was coming in, so I would come in a night early and watch whoever was on before me. Did you work with Kephardt?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I did that. I remember once there was a time when Ray Romano and Kevin James and I were doing a joke off at the end of the show, and I think I won it, and they didn't care for that.
Well, when it comes to jokes,
that's why you never saw me on King of Queens.
Look where they are now, though. Who's winning?
Yeah, that's true. Charlie Sheen. Go ahead. Over.
Now, Bob, we talked a little earlier about John and his John Mulrooney's crowd work. You're another comic who your crowd work is impeccable, but you have prepared sets as well, obviously. But crowd work is a special art. Talk to us about that as an art form in itself and how good John was at it.
John was one of the best at it. He and again, I always tell these comics, these kids coming up, not like Kevin Downey Jr. I'm talking about Rick Corso, this child out there who really has this whole dream of showbiz. No, working a crowd is basically, I'll tell you, I told you I'm going to Israel at the end of the month, and last time I was there, people go, "You're like Don Rickles," and that's a compliment. Every comic will agree Don Rickles was the best. But if you put Don Rickles' material on paper, you wouldn't laugh. You were laughing at Don Rickles and the way he reacted. And he knew what he was going to say to somebody in the audience. I try to at least fish and get some information and build off that. That's usually what I try to do.
I gave him a cookie, went away.
Now Kevin.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, you and John had a really special relationship. I mean, you guys, you performed together, and you even went to J6 together. So talk to me about John as a person, because Bob nailed it right on the head. It's really, for a comic, you got to win them over first, win the audience over. And John just pretty much won everyone over just by opening his mouth.
Well, it took longer to win over the J6 committee. I'll tell you that much. They weren't big fans of my work, especially my crowd work. Hey, Pelosi. They weren't big fans of that. Allegedly. I got to say allegedly until January 6th of next year, because that's when the statute of limitations runs out.
Well, Kevin, I was very impressed. You didn't do a single bird. You did a double bird. And a lot of the guys won't do that now.
Oh, I always go the extra mile, Bob. When I
wrote the double bird.
Yeah, I'm willing to go there.
So I think it's great that Phil can't actually afford us to fly in and do the show.
Well, I would have to be with you guys for longer than an hour. This is much easier because 15 minutes in and out. You know me. I don't like people that much. Kevin, now,
how many times has a woman told you that?
Too many times. That's why I had to get married. Kevin,
And then you ask for a refund for the other 45 minutes. Go ahead.
how do you know? Now, you had a chance to work with John on a morning show called Mulrooney in the Morning, which I think was on for a little over a year. And you guys had all different kinds of guests. What was that experience like working with John? Because I had a great experience working with one of the most unselfish guys to work with.
Yeah, you know what? I'm doing a radio show now, and everything I have learned comes from John. Everything that got me in the door. I had another mentor there who showed me some other things, but without John, I wouldn't be on the radio right now. I called him the day before, and I said, I have no idea what I'm doing. I wanted this, and I got it. He goes, what do you mean you have no idea? Do what you do now. What's up, baby? How's it going? That's how you're going to do it. And so every morning, every day on the show, welcome back, baby. Welcome back to the Kevin Downey Jr. He was right. He was right about, I learned so much from him at SICK. I met a million people because of him, including you, Phil, because of John. John was that guy who brought people together. Right. Rick is on here. I wouldn't know Rick if it wasn't for John, because John got him a gig in Vegas that I was on, and now the three of us got to know each other. And by the way, if you're ever allegedly high, ask Corso to do his impression of Eric Roberts from the Pomegranate Village, because it's dead on, and it's the funniest thing you'll ever see.
Hey, Bill, Rick, you do an Eric Roberts impression?
Bob, I'm an agent now. Don't call me.
Well, we got to hear it.
I did a movie called 23 Minutes of Sunrise, and I was one of the stars with Eric. And he wanted to do stand up, and he asked me to write jokes for him. Yeah, he wanted me to write jokes for him, and he said, I said, well, what's your phone number? He said, just email me. And this was like 12 years ago, and I went, I don't get that. Now I get it.
Oh, email's been around for like 30 years now. More.
No, I know, but I was old school that you talk to someone and maybe, but it's not like our relationship, Rick. You and I really, we go way back.
Every 12 years we say hello, and that's nice.
And that's enough. God, and you know what? I'm doing the math. This may be the last time.
Well, hopefully it's the last time you mentioned 23 Minutes to Sunrise.
Kevin Downey Jr. Some of the stuff you've done in your career, Phil. Do you really want to play this game? Because I will shut you down, my friend, and I'll do it in front of Kevin Downey Jr. and if seniors around him too.
Well, in the time we have left, I got to ask you guys. We've talked about Mulrooney the comic, Mulrooney the friend. It blew my mind that he joined the police force at the age he did. I mean, guys, we'll just go around the room. Was that crazy on his part or crazy insane?
He had cop in the blood. His brothers were cops. He was always a cop. I remember when he was working Rascals in West Orange, New Jersey in the 80s, like 85, he would pull somebody over with a fake badge. He just loved being a cop. Yeah, he did. He told me at the game. I couldn't believe it.
He actually, I saw him once where he was a mall cop and he took me to food court and sued me.
This sounds like a movie, Bob.
That's 24 minutes to midnight. That's the sequel. Wow. 24 minutes.
Very nice.
You got 2 mentions out of that stinker. Guys, if we could, John and I had a chance to speak to a guy who Bob Zaney knows very well, a Long Island staple, a New York staple, Mr. Colin Quinn. If we can go to cut 4, Colin Quinn.
When we did MTV, the remote control, me and Ken Ober. So one episode, we used to make fun of all the 70s sitcoms. So one episode, we got Norman Fell to come on, So Norman Fell's contract says he gets his check in his dressing room before he goes on with a 6-pack of beer. So it's got to be a cold 6-pack of beer. I forget, it was Budweiser, some normal kind of beer, Budweiser or Miller, and then his check, that's got to be there before he goes on. It's in the writer. So his drink is there. We wait. We're right next to his dressing room, all excited. Norman Fell goes in, takes the check, puts it in his pocket, drinks the 6-pack of beer, drinks 2 of the beers. 2 beers, goes out. We do the scene. The scene is, well, Kenny, you're always been a little, the Norman Fell, what he used to do to Jack Tripper.
Mr. Roper, right?
And he goes, well, Kenny, you've always been. And then the director goes, hi, Norman, could you do it a little broader? Because I feel like we don't catch it. And Norman Fell's looking at him like, okay. And he goes,
Well, Kenny, you've always been a little. We get it. Cut. He leaves, goes in the dressing room, drinks one more of the beers, and just leaves. And we're like, "Hey, no, Mr. Fowler's great to meet you." He goes, "Yeah, nice to meet you." So.
I like that.
Great story. Bob Zaney, Kevin Downey Jr., Rick Corso joining us. Bob Zaney will be at the Silver Legacy Casino in Reno, Nevada. Bob, what are the dates on that again?
It's in July. It's up on my board. That involved me turning around to look. Go to bobzaney.net for all the details. There's plenty of other shows I'm doing before that.
July 23rd to the 26th. Kevin Downey Jr. can be heard right here on the America's First Warehouse Network, and that's Wednesdays at noon, correct?
Yes, sir.
And then Rick Corso is an agent, so we don't need to plug him. Guys, thank you so much for taking the time. As we wrap up this edition, we honor the memory of John Mulrooney, not just for the laughter he gave us, but for the heart, the humanity, everyone he touched. Till next time, here's John Mulrooney and his mom with a few words of wisdom. Good night.
Hey, this is John. I'm here with me mother.
Me mother.
She's apparently gained quite a following on Facebook. She's a big shot now, big star on Facebook. Everybody's enjoying hearing from Mama Mulrooney. Couldn't take her out to the park today because it was raining and windy, a little cold, but still, she wanted to say hello.
Hi, everybody.
Yeah, say hi, Ma.
Hi.
She wouldn't let me put her on camera until she fixed her hair. So
I didn't enjoy that much fixing.
as you can see, she did a wonderful job.
Oh, yes.
Looks like she did it with firecrackers.
I'll give you a firecracker.
So we need some words of wisdom today, Mother. Give us some words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. Hurry up with the words of wisdom.
Oh.
How about that one? Don't yell at your mother, and you get to stay in the will. How's that one sound, Ma? That a good one? All right, that's a good one.
Very good.
Bye. Say bye, Ma. say goodbye.
Goodbye.
If I call Adult
Do me a
Protective...
favor, take him with you.
Before I call Adult Protective Services. Love you, Ma.
Love you too.
Yeah, all right. Hey, this is...
For the patriots of America, we stand tall and free. In the America First Warehouse, where our hearts will always beat. America First Warehouse, a beacon for all to see, a symbol of hope, a symbol.